awash with arts and entertainment events. And our friend Nancy Guppy is back to spotlight a few of her favorites. How are you?
Hi,
You've
great
been
to
washed
see you.
over by
I've been
the
washed over by the arts. Yes, indeed. By the way, first of all, happy birthday.
Thank you very much.
Yes, I love the story about your son coming here.
Oh my gosh,
All
we had
right.
such a good
I know
weekend.
you've kind of recovered from that probably.
Yes,
finally.
just almost.
Almost. Well, okay, so let's get into the wash of art. And we're going to start
do it.
with a Vibrant Palette Art Center. This is a terrific organization in town. Their whole mission is about making the local art community kind of more inclusive to people with all abilities. So they work with adults who are developmentally challenged mentally or physically. So they have this program. They're set at Pratt Fine Arts Center, which is kind of up by the ID, and it's a 6-hour a day, once a week program where they teach art. They have guest artists come in and teach the participants. They take them out to museums and galleries to see art and to see other artists in their environment, in their studios working, to kind of see how other artists do their thing.
That is so cool.
Isn't it so great? And so once Vibrant does 3 shows a year where they show their participants' work. And the next one coming up is on Thursday, March 8th at Vermilion Art and Art Gallery and Bar on Capitol Hill. So it'll run for a month, and on the 8th, all of the participants will be there with their work, which will be very exciting for them.
That is awesome, and that's such a great way to express.
Exactly. Oh, it's a way to express in a way that, I mean, any of us can do it, right? It's a whole new way of kind of speaking. So that's a really fun one.
Okay, and then there's Ms. PacMan.
Okay, yes. So
What?
you and I,
We're going back in time, baby.
Way back in time, because you and I are not. I'm not really into gaming, but of course I remember.
I loved Pac-Man.
I love Ms. PacMan, but she was like the 1980s little video character.
Yep.
So Ms. PacMan is coming back from the small screen to live on stage. Scott Shoemaker, yes. Scott Shoemaker is this
run around and eat dots.
Kind of. He is a hilarious performer, and so what he's doing his 4th installment of Miss Pac-Man Out of Order. It's a freewheeling cabaret of singing, dancing, telling stories from his or her life, all the while drinking whatever he can get his hands on or whatever pills he can get his hands on. So it's a big, huge, free-for-all kind of crazy character.
That sounds awesome.
And this is a review from the Seattle Times. It says, Ms. Pac-Man is a hilariously pathetic hurricane of desperation, barely suppressed rage, and neediness, which is perfect.
Wow. Sounds like a weekend,
Exactly.
right?
Sounds like myself. So Ms. Pac-Man Out of Order runs March 8 to 10 and 15 to 17 at Rebar, which is kind of in the Denny Regrade area.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's very interesting. So that's kind of a different thing from Vibrant. Now we're going to go to something completely different. Ginny Ruffner, she is a Seattle artist who has been creating really fantastic public works, both temporary and permanent for her entire career. Many people might know that huge flower pot right there on 7th and Union, so it's kind of a kinetic moving thing. That's hers. So Ginny and another artist, Grant Kirkpatrick, they have a sculptural installation at Mad Art, and it's called Reforestation of the Imagination. So it's basically this physical space. They've populated it with bronze and clear glass stumps and leaves and branches, all that are supposed to look kind of dead. And then the viewer walks through, and you can see right there with this kind of device, a handheld device, and it reveals that the forest is actually in the process of regenerating. It looks dead, but it is coming back to life.
Wow.
I think the interesting point, and one of the bigger points they're making, is that regeneration is also true for human beings. When your life looks the darkest, looks the bleakest, regeneration is actually happening. Life is coming back. So that's kind of the big meta, I would say, of
I
what
love that use of technology.
I do
though.
too.
That's
It's a great use.
Great combination.
Yeah, and that runs now through the end of March at Mad Art in South Lake Union.
Then Kim Lusk.
Yes, a couple quick mentions. Kim Lusk, she is an up-and-coming dancer and choreographer, and she has created her first ever full-length dance, which is or evening of dance, which is a really big deal. It's called A Dance for Dark Horses. It's a world premiere at Velocity Dance Center, and Velocity has this ongoing series called Made in Seattle. It's basically they commission local dancers to create work. So that's what this piece is, has been created through.
Okay.
And it runs March 8 to 11 at Velocity on Capitol Hill. And I just want to make a quick mention, because coming up, and I bet you'll have somebody on the show, but
sure
the Jewish Film Festival is coming up fast. That's 35 films from 15 countries over 9 days. It starts on March 10th, and the link, of course, to the full festival schedule will be on your website. Now, I know you'll have people on to talk about it.
And we love to do that. I think it's probably good to note, and maybe you can reflect on it a bit.
Yeah.
We have so many great film festivals.
Yes,
and
we do.
have
Yes.
some that are culturally specific and really give us a chance to explore both subject matter and to see the work of filmmakers.
Yes.
Why do you think that we blossomed in that way. I'm so glad that we have.
You know, that's a great question, and I think there's just such a vibrant film community here, and it's been that way for probably since like SIF, you know, the film festival opened, I think it's like 40 plus years ago.
Yeah, a long time.
So there's always been this kind of like film community here of independent artists, and for whatever reason, they've flourished here. Like there's the Northwest Film Forum, obviously there's SIF, there's a lot of film schools in town. So I can't explain why, but I feel like there's these communities of artists, whether it's dance or film, that seem to kind of stay here and generate a lot of work. So
I'm glad
we're lucky.
that you're able to highlight that, and we want to also,
Yep.
some of these things, I mean, you look occasionally at the movies that are playing and you think,
Yep.
I've seen them all, or
Yes.
there's nothing I'm interested in
Yes.
seeing, but here's this opportunity,
Yep.
not just to see, you know, short films and long films and young filmmakers, but oftentimes movies about things that you wouldn't see feature-length films on that are very important for us to understand.
Absolutely, or like you said, like culturally, you're going to go. I mean, if it's a Jewish film festival, it's going to be from all these different countries, because they have a particular point of view.
Right.
I mean, so that's a really good thing, especially if you don't know much about that culture, or like the gay and lesbian or transgender. I mean, there's the film festival about that, and that is another area where you can learn a lot about people that you may or may not know much about. So it makes a huge difference.
Take your own prism off and
exactly,
see with
get a little
somebody
broader
else's eyes.
view, right? It's
Thank
always
you,
good.
Nancy. Catch Art Zone with Nancy Guppy Fridays at 8 on the Seattle channel. You can also stream past episodes online. Find links on New Day's website. We'll be right back.
Yeah.